Hey everybody, Spoonfed here, and we're going to continue the batch crash course from me, Spoonfed. And last time I talked about like if you were doing network commands. One of the easiest network commands that you can use, and I will quickly tell you like what you can like diagnose with it, is ping, which is stands for packet internet groper or something like that. And what it does is it sends a like small packet to whichever server you want it to go, and that server will hopefully, if everything goes correctly, will send the packet back to you, and you can like measure how long it takes and if the packet like arrives or not, or well, not that if it arrives or not, but you can see if well, if a problem with the DNS is if there is a problem with the DNS, for example. DNS stands for domain name server, and what it does is it will change a name to an IP address, an IP address to a name. So instead of like remembering the exact IP or one of the IP addresses on which Google is located, on which server, you just type in google.com or .nl or .de or .co.uk, and the browser will use a domain name server to say, oh, okay, this domain belongs to, well, any one of these lists of servers. So just pick an IP of that and go to that one, and it will send the packets needed to the IP address and then later transform it to a domain name again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to ping and then space google.com. So what it will do is it will send 4 packets per default, and see what the if there is a reply or not. Well, we see a reply with a I'll just explain this. We see a reply from this address. So this is one of the servers Google is located on. We see that's 32 in size, which is the standard size. We see that it took 41 milliseconds, which is reasonable amount of time. And the total time to live is 128, which means it will live, I think, 128 seconds or something like that, because the packets will die after that. So if it takes longer than that, the packets will die. There was one with I think somewhere in the UK, I think it was Ireland, who wanted to have like a free network across the city. But the thing is, if you're on one side of the city and you need to connect to the router all across to the other side of the city, the time to live was too short. So the packet died like halfway through. It just vanished. It was like, ah, no, it's not alive anymore. It's a dead packet. So they were trying to figure out why the packets wouldn't arrive. Well, that was the reason. So that's it. And here you can see some ping statistics for this address, and you can see we have sent 4, we received 4, so we lost nothing. The minimum and the maximum and the average round trip in milliseconds. So from me to the server, and the server back to me. Pardon me. Now, what you can test with this is if you have DNS problem or not. Because let's say you have ping.google.com doesn't work. It just doesn't say google.com host not found or something like that. But if someone else did it, you could like type in this address for example, and if it would like ping this address, you know that it's a DNS problem, because it cannot understand google.com, because, well, google.com is not a host that you are connected to, and you are connected to the internet, but your DNS or your router which is connected to a DNS cannot make the transfer or the change from domain name to IP address, which is what ping does. So that's a very easy way to test if you have a DNS problem. aside from that, you can do a lot of stuff with ping actually. And one thing I know is ping with the parameter n -n or switch n. Notice that it's not that, but it's that, which is new. And the reason for that is, I think, because it's stolen from Unix. I don't know. This one is typically for like Unix and Linux computers, and that is for like really DOS commands, like DOS command specific. So yeah, I have no idea. So let's see, we do N5 and we do google.com. Now it should be that it will do 5 this time, as well as we do this, it will only do 1. So N stands for the number of packets to send. What if you wanted to let it run like indefinitely? Well, you add the switch T to it, or parameter T, which basically means you will go until I tell you to stop. So it will just go and go and go and go until we hit Control C, which is terminating this whole endeavor. Now I do not know all the things from the top of my head, so just going to quickly see what we can do. Yeah, you can type in control break, which here you can do this, then have let's see, this. The break is located on the pause button. Like if you have a normal keyboard with the numpad on the right, above that usually are like keys, or above the page down, home, that sort of stuff. Above that there's a key called print screen, and there's a key called pause break. Well, the pause break, if you hit that with control, it will pause but show you the statistics and then continue on, in contrary to control C, which just shows you the statistics and then really stops. I'll show you the other. I'll show you the other stuff that is there. A is addresses to host names. So if you have like ping A and then the IP address of Google, it will like go back to Google. The N is how many packets. The L is the size of the packet. So normally it's 32, and the max is 65535 or something like that. And we can test that out actually. I think it's 65535. No, 65500. That's it. That one is probably how many ports there are. 65500. So that's the. It will now send 4 packets with well, pretty large data, and it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome. Google just says, well, we're not gonna receive that much or that big packets, because we just reject those, because if we make it, I think 50 or something, it will easily do it. That's pretty cool. In the old days, I'm talking very old days, you could use this to make a DDoS attack, because if you do ping L65500 and then whatever you want, let's say a computer in your local net, no, they didn't have 192 then, 1000.5 for example, and then you add the T, it will just send these packages like crazy to that place. And if you open up another command prompt that does the same, and another, and you need like, in those days you only need like 4, I think, and it will just crash the computer because it cannot handle internet requests anymore because it needs to do this. So I think it was called like the ping flood or something of the ping of death it was called. So that's that. What else do we have? Yeah, the dot fragment flag is I think to get the packet hole in there, but I'm not really sure anymore. I should like read up on that. What the time to live is how long the packet should stay alive. Yeah, I was gonna say the type of service is not really of effect anymore, so I'm not gonna talk about that. The R is to record the route for like how many. Or I can show you that. Like let's see. Oh. Like so. Which means if there are 5 hops you can do it, if not you cannot do it. And same goes with S. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not what I wanted because there are only 4. So that's basically normal command. What else do we have? Yeah, J and K are basically lists of hosts through which the packet should go. Like if there's a strict source route, sometimes you want to test if it goes from that's the best way to describe this. Let's say you have a company network and you have a switch and then a router which goes to another router, and that router has like the option of 5 different routers that connect to the outside world. If you do J, it will first go to the switch, it will just go to router, and that router will go to the last router, and then it can choose any of the 5 if you put in all 5. With K you can say, well, I first want to test the first one, and then if that works, okay, you can cross that one out, then I want to test the second one, and then you can really like specify the route it needs to go. So that's pretty cool. The W is how long to wait for packets to come back. So like if you up that time, you have more chance of getting the packets back, but if the packets are not coming back, they're not coming back. So the first time they're not coming back, maybe you should up like the W and send like 1 packet to see if it is in the router that's too slow, that can't handle it, or if the packet just does not like get there. The capital R is for IP version 6. So I'm not gonna talk about that because that's something else. The capital S is for source address, so that's for from where do you want to send the packet. Well, normally from your computer, but you can do other stuff with it as well. And the tag 4 and tag 6 or dash 4 dash 6 is for using the specified IP address. Why is that included? Well, sometimes you want to test if it's the IP version 6 that causes problems or the IP version 4. Now then, that's ping command. It's a lot. It's the biggest command so far, with a lot of options, but most of the options you'll probably not use, but it's important to know them. And I have to read up on the don't fragment part, and you just have fun with pinging your local network, and I'll see you next time.